Thank you, Tricon, for organizing this. Fellow speakers, officers, professionals, thank you for taking the time. Um, so I, I'll, so we at as we were introduced, we at Indrajaal are focused on how to build autonomous air defense systems. That's our core priority, and primarily building it for India. So I think today I'll take you through a little bit of our journey in terms of how to really think AI, right? How do we switch gears to autonomous systems? So let's talk a little bit about the new reality, right? I think this comes back to the same concept we were in the earlier talk. We were talking, physical warfare is or at least human beings being present in physical warfare is coming to an end, right? And if you take the recent conflicts, whether you take Russia and Ukraine, let's take that as an example, right? A small country like Ukraine is able to fight against the might of Russia. Why is this, right? So today the fundamental theory is that it's not a match of bodies or how many soldiers I have versus how many soldiers the other country has. It's a match of how many drones I have or how many weapons that I have that can be unmanned and that can come into your country without even putting a foot into the country, right? So fundamentally, the battlefield has become about economics. So if a country like Ukraine can be backed by US and for their natural resources, they can have a never-ending supply of drones that can keep Russia at bay, right? So fundamentally, the concept of saying that I need to put a courageous man or woman inside a plane or inside a tank or inside any kind of a vehicle to send across a country to conquer that country has that concept itself is being questioned, and we can see that in the existing conflicts. So the new reality is that saying that it's not just about looking at the physical might of the country that you're fighting, it's also understanding their ability of economics, apart from cognitive, which was just mentioned, which is also very interesting, but economics becomes a key reality, right? So, and when it comes to air defense, it is fundamentally clear that traditional air defense was never built to fight asymmetric warfare, right? When I say asymmetric warfare, that it basically means that I have something I have a missile that can stop a missile, but I don't have a missile that can stop a drone, right? But I can use a missile to stop a drone, but how long can I do that, right? There is a limitation to my economics to keep on launching missiles to stop small drones, and if I was the enemy, I would send all my useless drones first to finish your missiles and then send the real things, right? So fundamentally, asymmetric warfare is built to overwhelm a country's defense systems, right? And that's what we have seen in whether it is spider web, even in some parts of Sindur, saying that, what are we going to really launch to protect our country, right? And what is the opposition going to send? They might be sending something, a drone worth 20 lakhs, 500 of them, just to overwhelm our defense systems initially. And once we are depleted of our defenses, that's when the real threat will come. So traditional air defense is not built for that, and I think we have realized that through global challenges and Op Sindur as well, right? However, the truth, right? Um, and this is a fundamental truth, as Indrajal we believe in, that only AI can fight AI, right? So we need to build systems that are able to be autonomous, to fight autonomy. So I'll give you a few examples here. So it's an easy statement to say. I mean, I'm sure we all have used some level of an AI model, ChatGPT, it can generate a 500-page document in 5 minutes, right? So it is humanly impossible to do that. It is as a human being, unified. It doesn't matter how many human beings I put at this. It's impossible to build that within 5 minutes. So fundamentally, the level at which the new generation threats are going to come are going to have that kind of intelligence backing it, right? And I see this dichotomy even in our own procurement, fundamentally saying that, okay, I have one side of my sister concern who is developing drones, supplying to the same armed forces, where they are saying that, no, we want inertial navigation, we want this, and we want it to be GPS denied location, and it's fully autonomous as a system. But our counter drone side of it are not procuring the same thing, right? They are not even procuring the same systems that can protect against the same drones we are procuring, right? So there's a huge dichotomy in our approach of understanding that that only AI can fight AI, because if the drone is coming, that's coming is fundamentally autonomous, the system that is going to fight it, right? So maybe let me explain a little bit about autonomous, right? Autonomous means that there is no remote operator. Autonomous means that there is a goal given to the drone, and the drone can think for itself to evade any kind of countermeasures that are coming to it to get to the goal. So it's approaching it from a standpoint of saying that I'm going to make my own decisions. I'm not dependent on the operator who's operating me from a remote location, right? So that kind of threats we are ordering from our counterparts, but are we really protecting against it is the fundamental question. And this is the truth that we see at Indrajaal, saying that this is necessary and we need to fight AI with AI. So what is the change required, right? Let's talk about how at Indrajaal at least we are very clear that we need to build systems that don't need human operators, right? So you need to start there, right? Saying that we have to start at the design level itself, saying that, okay, there is no one going to operate this. We are not going to train operators to achieve this, right? We're not going to put this system in a screen and there's an operator continuously monitoring that screen to do something. There is no such thing, right? So fundamentally, when we start with the concept saying that I'm not going to put an operator, I'm not even going to put a screen, right? That is when you start building a system that is actually being able to achieve autonomy, right? However, human supervision is fundamentally important. So this is if you take the Sukhoi S-70, it is supporting a Su-57, right? It's a fully autonomous system supporting a Su-57 pilot. So the Su-57 pilot supervises this, but they are not actually flying it or controlling it or operating it, and there's no one trained to operate it. It operates itself, right? With supervision of commands saying that, I need help here, or I need help there, go take out that particular camp or whatever it might be, right? So I think when it comes to counter UAS space, it comes to the same concept, saying that how much is going to a handheld CUAS gun stop, really, right? I mean, I understand it is the cost benefit, but is it really going to stop the drones that we are only procuring to fight our enemy, right? Is that analysis done? Is that anybody looked at it? I would say no. I think fundamentally, handheld CUAS guns, or this is manually driven versus interceptor drones. For example, interceptor drones that are autonomously driven is where we need to be in the counter UAS space. So fundamental change required is how we spec these systems. What is the hardware? Are we speccing hardware? Are we speccing software? How are we going to spec AI? Right? AI cannot be specced like how we are speccing hardware today. Fundamental change has to come from the standpoint of saying that we are going to look at capability. So one of the things we do at Indrajaal is we look at capability, right? Saying that forget what is the spec of the hardware. Is it capable of stopping these 10 type of drones or this 500 type of drones? That's it, right? Now, how it stops it or how that happens is not really relevant, right? So that's, I think, two points here is that no human operators, capability as a primary subject. So the result of this is that, yes, we are deploying these systems today for some parts of the Indian Navy, right? Where we are fundamentally providing two of the key projects that we have done is as capability as a service projects, where we have deployed for the Indian Navy, where we are saying that no human operators, it is multi-system fusion, your weapon engagement is autonomous. So the system is continuously monitoring the airspace versus there's a operator monitoring the airspace, and you're dependent on the operator to be vigilant at all times, right? However, this requires a lot more capability in terms of sensor fusion and I think some of the network gentlemen who had shared, there's a lot of work to be done in this space to make a system autonomous, right? And one of the things that I say, this does point to the future. One of the problems we say we face when you're deploying autonomous systems is that what if it kills a friendly, right? I mean, this is a fundamental problem, right? You have to understand that there are equal friendlies flying in the air, right? They're equal challenges that autonomous system might turn against you, right? So in that space, it is important to look at a countrywide strategy. I think one of the key strategies, I think Sudarshan Chakra was an introduction, Golden Dome was an introduction. I think politically they see it, saying that, okay, we need to unify counter UAS operations. I'll tell you, recently there was a disruption for the Delhi airport where there was a spoofer switched on, and then flights couldn't take off for almost 3-4 hours. There were almost 30,000-40,000 passengers who were dislodged. So fundamentally, you cannot put spoofers, jammers, weapons as if in a sporadic manner in a country, right? Because you cannot switch them on and switch them off as choice. There has to be a unified system, and I think the Home Ministry has put ARDTC, or Anti-Rogue Drone Technical Committee, in that space, and I think IDS is also preparing something in this space to be able to unify counter-drone capability for the country, because fundamentally only in that kind of a unified autonomous future we will be able to fight AI threats with AI counter threats. But I mean, that's all I had for today. It's a more of a high-level overview, but we are doing this for the Navy and Army today. Thank you.